Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. We will be running Do You Bleed and Read Double Determination from 6.4.1. Now this is all about bringing in bleed champions because you can only do damage to the defenders with bleed abilities only, and also the more bleeds you stack and the more their power rate and damage increases because of Redoubled Determination. Now to counter all of that, first thing you need to bring in bleed champions, but if you bring in bleed champions with power control like Gwenpool or even Hawkeye, they work amazingly well here. There is a very nasty mini boss that is going to be a Gwenpool. She will have Do You Bleed with Double Determination as well as Clapback and Soft Guard as well. So to deal with her, we will go into more detail once we get to the fight. Some helpful masteries for this path will be Parry and also Deep Wounds, and also if you're gonna run in some bleed resist champions, Coagulate will go a long way, especially against the mini boss Gwenpool. Before we jump into the path guys, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications and leave a comment down below. All of that really helps me out a lot. Now the first fight is just a regulation fight that is against the Deadpool. Nothing too difficult about him, just bring in a heal blocker, or you can also bring in a Corvus, or in our case you can bring in Apocalypse. Apocalypse is really good for this lane and also for the mini boss, so you can bring Apocalypse and get 4 charges from here because he's a mutant champion and Apocalypse will can build up his charges from here. And the first fight on the path with the nose Do You Bleed and Redoubled Determination is going to be a Starlord. Now, Starlord, it's a pretty easy fight. All you need to do is to just put on those bleeds and keep baiting his SP1 or SP2. Both are easily baitable. I would suggest you to just go in, use 4-hit combos and let him come to you. Most of the time he will just use his SP1 like that. I am just using in Blade and I am gonna parry him and then give him a few hits and just keep using my SP1. And whenever he will have a bar of power, I will try to bait out his SP1, or if I'm going to hit him, I will only use 4-hit combos. In that way, I will get enough space to go back, because sometimes if you use 5-hit combos, his SP1 will clip you and give you quite a lot of damage. So you can avoid that. Other champions that you can use are mostly bleed champions, but I would highly suggest you, if you have a power control bleed champion, somebody like Hawkeye or Gwenpool, they will work amazingly on this path. They can power control and you do not have to worry about Redoubled Determination. You can just stack on those bleeds and intercept them and easily take out all the path one by one. If not, some other champions that work well here is Squirrel Girl, also Mole Man, Nick Fury, so quite a few options here. Deep Wounds will be helpful for you guys because that will increase the timing on the bleeds and also give that extra damage as well once his HP is less than you. Next up is going to be a Carnage. With Carnage as well, a simple champion to fight. His special 1 and special 2 are easily evadable. All you need to do is to just take care about the power gain because of Redoubled Determination. And yeah, it's a pretty easy and straightforward fight. Just keep stacking up those bleeds. I'm just bringing in Wolfie. I'm just trying to showcase different champions. You can also bring in X-23 in place of him. X-23 bleeds are much more potent and longer as well. The next defender is going to be a Wasp. Now, again, nothing too tricky about Wasp. She's a metal champion, so I'm just going to bring in a Magneto. So all I'm going to do is to build up to 40 prowess charges and use my SP3, and then the bleeds from SP3 will clear off easily. Again guys, there's nothing difficult about this card. It's just you need patience and you need to work around that Redoubled Determination and not give an SP3. If you just take care about these things, it's an easy and quick path. With Wasp, you just need to take care that you don't go into 4 or 5 hit combos, because she can retaliate with her evade and give you shock damage and come back and hit at you. So just be careful about that. Either bait her specials out so her evade timer is on cooldown, or also you can just hit during the parry, and once you have that down, it's a quick easy fight. Now next fight is going to be against a Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. Now this fight might be a little bit annoying and a longer fight, because after the update on Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, he can easily shrug off all your debuffs, and also he can shrug off your stuns and retaliate. So you need to be careful about that. And her special animations are long, so the first special goes into 2 animations, 1 4 hits, then again the 3 hits. So you have to wait for them before you go back and retaliate. Whereas SP2 has a smaller animation, so they are easily evadable, but he's a bit tanky, and also he can shrug off your bleeds as well. So you'll have to reapply again and again. And on top of it, I brought in Hit Monkey. That did not help as well, because his bleeds are not very duration-wise very potent. So bring in champions that have longer bleeds for a faster fight. Next up, there is going to be Dr. Octopus as our defender. Now with Dr. Octopus as well, he's a metal champion, so I'm going to bring in Magneto again, and I'm going to do the same thing, build up to 40 prowess charges with my SP3 and drop him and kill him off. Now he's a bit tanky, and that's why he won't die from one SP3. You might have to do 2 or 3, or in my case I did one SP3 and then I started spamming my SP1, so it's your choice how you do it. Even if you don't want to bring in Magneto, you can bring in other champions as well and kill him off. I'm going to use Magneto for the mini boss, that's why I have Magneto on my team as well. With Dr. Octopus, I would suggest you to bait his special one out only because that's easier to evade and gives you enough time to make spacing. His SP2 can be a bit tricky, so if you're not sure about the timing, you will have to block it, and that block will give you a lot of damage. Another thing when you fight with Magneto as an attacker is when you use an SP2, you give 40 bleeds to the opponent. When they are bleeding, do not touch the opponent or do not get hit by the opponent even in your block, because Redoubled determination increases their damage and their power gain. So if you hit the opponent even in a block, they will go up to an SP3 very quick and they will kill you. Or if you get tagged by the opponent in your block, the block penetration and damage will kill you off anyway. When you have those 35 or 20 or 40 bleeds on the opponent, just stay away. Do not try to hit the opponent or get hit by it. Next fight is going to be against a Scarlet Witch. Now with Scarlet Witch, try to bring a champion that doesn't have to do too many hits, because if you do too many hits, they will gonna crit her, and whenever you crit Scarlet Witch, there's gonna be a random debuff placed on you, and there's a high chance that you can get a heal block and a poison debuff on you that will throw you off. So there are two ways to deal with it. Either you can bring in a champion that is immune to poison and also can apply bleed, so that is going to be like somebody like Warlock, or you can bring a champion like Blade like me, and you can just go into parry and only hit and parry, because you will have pacified mastery. In my case I do. The triggers from the will be reduced by 30% from Scarlet Witch, so you can just parry, build up to your SP1 and you can throw SP1. With Blade I have an added advantage because he will gain power whenever there is a bleed on the opponent. So all I'm doing here is using my parry to bleed Scarlet Witch, and then that bleed will build up my SP1s, and I'm just going to throw them and kill off Scarlet Witch with minimum amount of contact and avoiding those criticals that will give me debuffs. The next defender is going to be a Gamora. Now Gamora is also a straightforward 5. Her SP1s and SP2s are easily raidable. I would suggest you to only keep her to a special 1, which can be a bit tricky because of redouble determination, but try, because her SP2 sometimes can clip you, especially if you're using 5-hit combos. Just use 4-hit combos and stay back, and that will give you enough space to evade the SP2 in time. But if you get clipped, and with that God Slayer, you will get a lot of damage and you might die as well. So you just need to be careful about that, and apart from that, any bleed champion will work against her because she is very susceptible to criticals and bleeds as well, so she will die very quick, guys. The next defender is going to be a Deadpool X-Force. Now Deadpool X-Force is an easy fight, there's nothing too difficult about it. His specials are easily raidable, so you can just keep him to an SP1 or even SP2 and you can kill him off. Just bring in the bleed champion that can apply a lot of bleeds and Deadpool will melt away. Only one thing you need to take care about is when he gets down to 20% HP, he will get a burst of power and it might push him to an SP3. So make sure you either bring a bleed champion that has power control, or you can bring in a champion that can apply bleeds and is immune to bleed as well. So somebody like Magneto with Coagulate Mastery or White Magneto as well, they will work nicely here. Or you can even bring in Warlock, so you don't have to worry about the huge bleed damage from Deadpool's X-Force SP3. And finally, before the boss, there's going to be a mini boss by Gwenpool. Now, Gwenpool has all the buffs from the path, and she has some extra as well. So she has Do You Bleed and Bleed Vulnerability, so you have to use in Bleed champions. Apart from that, she also has that Redoubled Determination, so when she has more debuffs on her, she will gain more power. And added two more of them. One is going to be soft guard, so every time she hits you or you block a hit, your block proficiency goes down, so every blocked hit she will give you more damage. And then the last one is clapback, so if you apply any debuff on her, she will apply debuff back on you. So your choices become very limited. You can only use bleed champions because she will take damage only from bleed, and you can only use the champions that are bleed immune themselves. Now, some of the options I can come up with are Korg. You can bring in a Korg and use his SP2 for the bleed, and he's immune to bleed as well. Apocalypse will work really well here because the first fight you can use in this path against Deadpool, you can get bleed immunity, and also with 4 persistent charges you can get through this fight. You can also use Black Widow player 1, although it will be a longer fight, you can stay on the bleed immune curse of hers, and then you can bleed her down with your specials. Corvus Glaive also works against her because you can build up Corvus throughout the path, or you can just use your hitting them in the block. That is a longer way. You can do that for the whole path against with Corvus. You can just wait for the defenders to go into their block mode and you can hit them in their block. It's a long way to do this part, but it is doable as well. Same goes for Magneto House of X. He is immune to bleed and you can use him as well, and with his SP2 you can apply bleeds on her. And also Old Man Logan, he is also resistant to bleed and he applies bleeds back as well, so he can, all of these champions can go against the clapback and work against Gwenpool. In my case, I'm gonna bring in Red Magneto. Now Red Magneto has 90% resistance to bleed, so also I run 1 point in Coagulate, so that makes it 100%, so bleeds when they come in I won't be taking damage, and because I'm running willpower, that will also give me back health. Now once you have all of that out of the way I am dealing with this fight is I will build up to 40 prowess charges with Magneto, and as I will be at full HP, and I know that I will get some block proficiency reduced because of Gwenpool's soft guard, but that's okay. I can still take some of that damage and build up to an SP3, and once I throw my SP3 she will take some damage, and I will stay away from her during those bleeds from SP3 to avoid her extra power gain because of Redoubled Determination and the extra damage. Once those bleeds wear off, now what I'm trying to do is to bait out her SP1s and just go back and retaliate, and I'm gonna throw my SP1s as well just to make sure that she has some bleeds on him, and when she will have bleed, the clapback will put bleed on Magneto as well, and Magneto is going to be 100% resistant because of his own resistance plus Coagulate, and that will trigger my willpower and heal me up. Once I am back to full, then I will start block and use my heavy to build up the prowess and build up to an SP3 again. Again, I might lose her because of those soft guard reduction, but again I will start using my SP1. So it's kind of a cycle. You throw a SP3 with 40 prowess charges and you will lose health because of those block damage. Then you start throwing your SP1 and staying away, and the willpower will heal you up, and then you can go back to an SP3. This is by far the safest way I found out to fight with Magneto, so I hope that helps you guys. And the other champions that you bring in path, you can use them as well. Another safe way is you can just bring in your Corvus Glaive and you can just hit her in her block and she will die like that as well. And finally, after that long fight with Gwenpool, we are gonna have a really relatively easy boss that is going to be an Iceman who has protection shielding and also as a heal block debuff. Apart from that, his energy damage are enhanced by 40%, so his cold snap will do a lot more damage than usual. And finally, he also has Matador, so anytime he uses a special attack, that's the only time the attacker can gain a bar of power. So all you need to do is to bait out his SP1 and go hit him in the corner. The best way to deal with him is to bring his gold snap champions and build up your power. I am bringing Warlock for this fight. You can just bait out his SP1s, and if you're not good with evading him, it's okay, you can bring in the tanky cold snap champion, so Warlock works really well. Also Colossus works really well. You can just block the SP1 as well, as you're not unblockable. And you can go back in and lay into him. Another easy way to kill him off is going to be with Ghost. Now Ghost is amazing here as well because she can convert all of those cold snap charges if you get more than one into Furies, and also her phase completely can negate the SP1, and all of that damage will help and you kill him faster. So it's upon you what kind of champion you want to use. I have them all in easy path completion. For Biohazard, I've done with Ghost, and the last video I did with sharing and carrying and vigorous assault, I took him down with Colossus, and now this showcase is with the Warlock, so you can go back to other videos and check them out as well. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you did, guys, make sure to like the video, comment down below and leave a like, and also subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helped me out a lot. And apart from that, guys, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.